April Fool's Day. While I hate pranks and surprises of all kinds, I do enjoy watching other people get pranked because I'm fueled by others' distress. In case you live under some sort of rock or you're an alien and you are unaware of what April Fool's Day is, April Fool's Day is an annual event where people perform pranks and creative hijinks on each other. April Fool's is believed to have started in France after the calendars moved the start of the year from April 1st to January 1st, and they laugh at the people who still use April 1st. Some famous April Fool pranks were when the BBC managed to convince millions of Britons in 1957 that spaghetti grew out of the ground. Since this was before pasta became a staple in a lot of meals in the UK, it was believable to those unfamiliar with how pasta was made, and viewers even called in to find out where they could purchase a pasta tree.
It's resulted in an exceptionally heavy spaghetti crop. The last 2 weeks of March are an anxious time for the spaghetti farmer.
20 years later, the BBC performed another prank when they told the nation that the Elizabeth Tower, aka Big Ben, was going digital. April Fool's was not only a big deal in the news, but also in TV shows. TV shows have been doing their own April Fool inspired episodes, such as The Simpsons when Homer convinced Bart he was blind, you know, like a kind, caring father would.
Blind!
April Fools!
Today we are going to be covering a bunch of iconic April Fool's episodes in TV shows I watched as a kid, because as we all know by this point in my channel, I am fueled by nostalgia because the future looks bleak. Whilst talking about the episodes, I'm going to be rating them out of 15. I shall be grading them in 3 categories, rated 1 to 5. Some of the episodes discussed might include multiple pranks, but I will be ranking the biggest prank in the episode. Would it get the pranker sent to jail? Meaning they are breaking the law just for kicks. Second category, did it suit the show? Meaning, did it seem like just another episode set on April 1st, or was it really a weird outlier? Category 3, how traumatized would the prankee? Meaning, even after the pranker said it was just a joke, bro, did the prankee cry themselves to sleep that night after the prank? Firstly, we have the April Fool's episode I remember the most from my childhood, in the show Fairly Odd Parents, called Fool's Day Out. This episode starts with us seeing this 10-year-old get bullied by everyone he knows. Firstly, we see Timmy excited to celebrate the 4th of July, and his parents pie him. Then we skip to Halloween, and his fairy godparents give him a jack-o'-lantern, which pies him. Then we move to Groundhog Day, and his friends give him a gift. Timmy opens it believing it's a stuffed groundhog, then turns out to be a robotic groundhog, and when it sees its shadow, it attacks Timmy and pies him. Slight side note, when I saw this for the first time as a child, I did not get the groundhog shadow joke. The only information I have about the holiday is when someone is stuck in a time loop, they say they are being Groundhog Dayed in reference to a movie I have also not seen. I just found out the holiday Groundhog Day is on February 2nd. A groundhog comes out of the ground, and if it sees its shadow, spring goes on, and if it does not see its shadow, spring is coming to an end. I thought it was just a day to celebrate groundhogs. Okay, moving on. April 1st arrives and Timmy is excited to get revenge on all his friends and family who pranked him. He is woken up by a news announcement.
The news this morning is snow and lots of it.
Runs out with his snowboard. Turns out the entire town decided to prank this 10-year-old and laugh in his face. Timmy has had enough and goes to his fairy godparents for pranking hell. Cosmo tells him about the April Fool, who he claims is the funniest man in the universe, so Timmy decides to summon him, much to Wanda's recommendation that he does not. The Fool appears and Timmy bribes him with spearmint gum to help him prank everyone who pranked him.
I got a day named after me? I don't remember signing anything. Where's my cut of the dough?
Starting off with Chester McBadbat, the Fool sets up a giant magnet to drag Chester up into the sky by his braces, luckily not ripping out any of his teeth as he spins him around. Then we have AJ. He walks over to Timmy with a wheelbarrow of his report of the entire history of mankind he has been working on for his entire life, and the Fool burns it to a crisp. Timmy, pleased with the Fool's pranks, asks him for more pranks. The Fool teleports them to the broken glass and pointy object factory. Turns out the Fool gave his parents free skydiving lessons, and when they jump out of the plane, he turns their parachute into pigs. Seeing that he is about to become an orphan, Timmy saves his parents.
I wish this were the rubber trampoline and pillow factory!
Timmy tells the Fool that he can't do that, and the Fool does not take that kindly and goes crazy and then flees. Timmy finds him about to launch a rocket that will knock the moon out of orbit in front of the sun, shielding the Earth from the sun's rays and launching the Earth into a new ice age. The April Fool starts mocking Timmy about how he cannot stop him. In the middle of his joke, Cosmo starts aggressively laughing, interrupting the Fool. The Fool's head inflates. Suddenly, Timmy remembers,
If you don't let me finish the joke, I'll get comedy backup and blow myself all the way back to Fairy World.
so Timmy injects ejects laughing gas all across the world, so the fool cannot finish his joke. Then he explodes, saving the earth from a frosty end. And just when you think Timmy's suffering has come to an end, Cosmo and Wanda give Timmy a gift for saving the world, a pie, with the evil robot groundhog that then attacks him. Now onto the ranking. The ultimate prank of the episode was to cause a new ice age, which would kill a majority all living beings on Earth. So I feel like that's definitely illegal. 5 out of 5. It did suit the show. Wanda warns Timmy about the dangers of his wish, then Timmy completely ignores her. As his wish continues, Timmy acts shocked that his actions have consequences. 4 out of 5. I do not think AJ is ever going to get over Timmy burning his life work. Timmy, however, will not learn a single thing from this experience and will do something like this in the future. So 2 out of 5. Next we are moving on to the Smurfs anime series. The Smurfs April Fooled episode was called April Smurfs Day. The episode starts with Harmony summoning all the Smurfs to the town centre so Papa Smurf could make an announcement. The announcement being that it's the annual holiday April Smurfs Day, which is their version of April Fool's Day. Everyone is ecstatic about the holiday, everyone except for Brainy. Papa Smurf is saying that the whole purpose of the holiday is to remind the younger Smurfs not to take life too seriously, and they should be able to laugh at themselves. Apparently, April Smurfs Day is meant to be everyone pranking everyone, however the majority of the pranks this day are usually played on Brainy. Literally, the second Brainy steps out of his house, he is pranked by the most pranked praise Smurf, Jokey. He then bumps into Smurfette, who agrees the whole holiday is silly. Then she asks Brainy to take the lid off of her berry bale so that she can go berry picking. Brainy helps her, and surprise surprise, it was a prank. Then Smurfette says that was the only prank she planned to play that day, and then leaves to pick berries.
April Smurfs Day. What a juvenile idea.
Brainy not happy. Then he gets pranked by Chef with a rubber pancake to really rub salt in the wound. He is just a victim. Whilst the Smurfs are involved in April Smurfs Day over at Gargamel's lair, he is forming a trick of his own. He uses a spell to disguise himself as a Smurfberry bush, and he cannot wait to ambush the Smurfs. He made that joke in the episode, so don't blame me for the pun. Smurfette gets snatched up first. Brainy leaves the Smurf village to escape the cruelty of April Smurfs Day.
Do like wild Smurf berries, don't you? I hate not having any.
And bumps into Grouchy, who is complaining about everything under the sun. Brainy is ecstatic that he finally has someone to complain about April Smurfs Day with. His happiness is short-lived as he and Grouchy then get kidnapped. Clumsy and Painter are also kidnapped. After a while, Papa Smurf realizes he is missing some Smurfs, probably realized their yearly victim Brainy is not around to be pranked. Papa Smurf takes a group of Smurfs out to find the missing Smurf on the back of a stalk. They eventually figure out Gargamel has them, and Papa Smurf does his special bird call, summoning Smurf berry bears that chase Gargamel out of his home so that they can free the Smurfs. Whilst Brainy is the one who is pranked the most in this episode, there is literally only one prank pulled on a Smurf that isn't Brainy, where Papa Smurf accidentally gets pranked. He is pissed, which is really hypocritical of him, as he told the younger Smurfs to get over it if they are pranked. I'm surprised there's not steam coming out of his ear. The ultimate prank of the episode is played on Gargamel at the end. Now to rank the episode. I feel like getting a swarm of birds to attack a man is definitely illegal, but he did kidnap the Smurfs, so maybe it evens out. Plus, who is arresting the Smurfs? They even have handcuffs that small. 3 out of 5. It did suit the show. Gargamel tries to kidnap the Smurfs every day. This man needs a hobby, so the ultimate prank of the episode being on him, sense 5 out of 5. I feel like Gargamel will be having dreams about the Smurfberry bears for months, but this is not the worst thing that they have ever done to Gargamel in retaliation. So 3 out of 5 on this one. Next is our first and only live action April Fool's special on the list from Victoria's, called April Fool's Blank. The episode starts with Tori running into Psycho Witz's class with a fake bleeding arm, but no one reacts. She is confused by the reaction, or by the lack of reaction, and is then informed that they do not celebrate April Fools at Hollywood Arts. Kat tells Tori to shut up and let Mr. Belding, who just appeared, teach the class. Then he attacks and robs Tori. Psycho Witch returns with a goat. Robbie floats away. Whilst talking, their Psycho Wits explodes, and they all head to their next class. In the hallway, Andre runs up to Tori screaming about a war, then a pop quiz, then a war again. He then flees and is shot by an arrow and dragged away by 2 sailors. The next scene is a parody of The Wizard of Oz. Kat and her pet fish Tofu enter the bathroom. Kat knocks herself out, and the room is now in colour. Tori and Jade emerge from the toilet, playing the Good Witch of the North and the Wicked Witch of the West. I am skipping to the end of the episode They have a dance number for no reason in Tori's house, and a fake Lady Gaga shows up. Moving on to the ranking. In the first 5 minutes, Tori gets mugged and Andre gets shot in the leg by an arrow. But since these are apparently not pranks, because Hollywood Arts does not do April Fool's Day, these are just regular crimes, so they would get sent to jail, but this would not be a prank getting them sent to jail. Did it suit the show? No. The whole episode was just randomness and all the characters were out of character. Such as Trina being able to sing suddenly. But the fact that the school insists it does not celebrate April Fool's Day implies this is just a regular day and all these things could happen on any other day. This is supported when, in the middle of the Wizard of Oz scene, Tori asks, implying none of these are pranks. Even though this is an April Fool's themed episode, these aren't pranks. Anyway, 1 out of 5 for that. How traumatized was the prankie? Again, this is just any Wednesday to them, so I doubt this is traumatizing mentally in the world of Victorious. But Andre will be in hospital and might require physical therapy after the arrow, so physically it was traumatizing. Again, I will say this episode was far too long. After the first 10 minutes, I was bored. Now we are taking a trip to the 100-acre wood in the April Fool special April Pooh. The episode starts with Pooh Bear waking up from his slumber to discover he ate his honey next to him in his sleep. He starts to look around his house for more and finds the blue honey pot. He sticks his arm in it and it gets stuck and he spends ages trying to get himself free. After freeing himself, he wanders around his house and finds Christopher Robin, who jumps out and says April Fools, which confuses Pooh Bear. He explains that April Fools is when you get pranked and then leaves. Pooh Bear misunderstands him and believes that April Fool is a person and begins to wonder if the April Fool is trying to scare him or not. Just as he starts to eat his breakfast honey, he hears screams for help. He runs to Piglet's house to find him preparing for a flood. Piglet thinks the outside of his house is flooded due to fishes outside of his window, but is confused when Pooh Bear enters his house dry. Pooh and Piglet go outside to find a fish bowl outside the window. They decide to head to Tigger's house to look for more April Fools after remembering that Rabbit said foolishness is what Tiggers do best, so they thought the fool might be near him. Tigger comes running out of his house in a panic, scaring Piglet and Pooh. Tigger thinks someone has stolen his stripes and replaced them with spots. They eventually figure out it's pajamas and Pooh tells him that it must be the handiwork of the April Fool. Over at Rabbit's house, he discovers a giant carrot and hugs it out of joy. Then the carrot comes out of the ground and floats away, carrying Rabbit off with it. The carrot eventually collides with a tree, pops, causing Rabbit to plummet to the ground and land on top of the others. The 4 of them decide to capture the April Fool, and they also believe he's invisible too.
The fool must be invisible.
They bump into Eeyore and he is confused but just rolls with it. We love a supported friend. Eeyore sees a shadow that scares them. Then they flee and they all end up in one of Tigger's traps. Turns out the shadow was Christopher Robin, and when he goes to help the others, he gets caught in a trap too. They all explain how they were trying to capture the April Fool, and Christopher Robin confesses it was him the whole time. Now onto the ranking. I mean, when Rabbit was dangling in the air, that could count as animal endangerment, but Christopher Robin is a child, so he'll probably be fine. Actually, now that I thought about it more, he did break into the houses of several of the residents of the 100-acre wood to do the prank, so 2 out of 5. Yes, Pooh Bear misunderstanding Christopher Robin is very on brand for him, so 4 out of 5. And then lastly, none of them were traumatized by the pranks and they moved on rather quickly. 1 out of 5. Now it's time to visit the home of the Dark Knight, which is Gotham. In Batman the Animated Series, the April Fool's special was called The Last Laugh. The episode starts with this man driving off of a bridge into a river. Rip him. Elsewhere in Gotham, Bruce was readying for a bath and Alfred informs him he has drawn him a bath. Bruce enters the bathroom and is confused when he sees the bath empty. Bruce turns around to Alfred, who is now holding up a picture, and informs him it is April Fool's prank. Bruce then gets into the shower and asks Alfred to turn on the radio. The radio announces people are going insane due to an unknown cause. Bruce quickly deduces it must be the Joker. They don't call him the world's greatest detective for nothing. On the other side of Gotham, the Joker is driving around this rubbish boat that is releasing laughing gas that turns you insane. Him and his henchmen start robbing people whilst they are laughing. Back at Wayne Manor, Alfred has succumbed to the laughing gas and is destroying stuff. Do not know why he does not shut the window after he realizes what's happening to Alfred. He just kind of stares at it. Oh well. Gonna summarize the next bit. Batman finds the Joker and his henchmen. They fight. Batman is caught by the Joker's robot henchman, Captain Clown, and is shoved into a bin and left to drown. Batman escapes. Yay! Defeats all the henchmen, including Captain Clown, and Batman captures the Joker, saving the day. Good for him.
Batman, you wouldn't let me ride.
Back home, Alfred is upset that when he was poisoned, he destroyed the priceless mace, and Bruce says this.
I'll just take it out of your salary for the next couple of years. Alfred. April Fools.
Moving on to the writing. Do I have to explain this one? Poisoning people is very illegal. The list of crime the Joker has committed is long enough to wrap around the world 5 times. 5 out of 5. Yes, insane things always happen in Gotham. It is not surprising that the clown prince of crime would strike on April Fool's Day. Plus, Alfred and Bruce pranks were very heartwarming. 5 out of 5. I mean, at this point, the residents of Gotham eat traumatizing experiences for breakfast. 5 out of 5. Alfred, the best member of the Bat family as always. And Batman without his cape looks naked. He had to take it off. I felt like I need to blur this part. Now those are all the specials I have for today. If you disagree with any of my ratings, tough. This is my kingdom and I reign supreme. Batman the animated series had the best April Fool special and Victoria's had the worst because what was that? Tell me about any April Fool specials that I did not cover that you liked in your childhood. That will be all. Pull some pranks. Don't commit a crime though. Goodbye. Na 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 na.